You know, it's hard, like I had mentioned, like looking in the mirror and kind of hating what you see and kind of not seeing what you see. And like I don't want to be like that. I feel like this will just, I mean, it will change the way I see myself. I'll be able to look at myself.
You want to have control of your body. You want to feel good about yourself and how you look. And I think that the cancer took that away from her, and all the surgeries took that away.
Inside my core, I don't feel feminine and I don't feel like a woman. And in order to feel like that, I have to like the way I look. And these tattoos sort of give that back to me. Hi, it's almost 7:30 in the morning on Wednesday. I will quickly throw my bags together and then I will be on my way to Jersey City to stay with my sister. And excitement for Thursday, which is when I'm getting my tattoos. My name is Eden Rochelle Whitman Golub. I live in Rockville, Maryland. I was born in Columbus, Ohio. My father's sister actually died of breast cancer. She died, I believe I was in 6th grade, and she was 47 when she died, which wasn't significant at the time, but I was 47 when I was diagnosed. So it was like this weird kind of like, Here we are at the PATH station getting ready to come into Manhattan. We'll see you soon. Excited. I have been dreaming about getting tattooed to cover my scars for 3 or 4 years. I've, looked up breast mastectomy tattoos so many times, and I think it was just sort of building to this point and kind of knowing that this would be a way for me to sort of accept my body again. I think it'll help to heal me. So I looked on Ink's website, and I'm looking through the artists, and I saw corals, and I was like, oh, I hope it's her. Oh my God, look at this color. Like, she uses the most amazing color, and her tattoos are gorgeous. And I was like, I hope it's coral, I hope it's coral. And then I talked to Erin, and she was like, well, the artist that we have, her name is Coral. And I was like, oh, yay, like that's like, oh, good.
My name is Coral, and I'm Eden's tattoo artist. So the idea is to create something that is going to flow with the body, that's going to cover up the scar tissue, and it's ultimately going to transform that part of the body. Tattooing has a certain therapeutic quality, and in a situation like this, it's really kind of using tattoo as a form of therapy and a form of transformation. So that's the type of tattoo we're doing today.
I wanted lots of color. Like I wanted sort of like, kind of like, you can't see my pants, but like sort of hippie, kind of old-fashioned flowery, like.
Eden tell me she loved color. She like absolutely in love with every crazy color, and that's what I do, so it's perfect.
She's always been somewhat flamboyant and had a good sense of herself. She's always been creative. She'll wear platform heels that are like a foot high, and she'll have purses shaped like pineapples. And
she was really drawn to some of the work that I've done that was like a fusion of realism with watercolor. So we decided to create something like that. So I make this design with different types of flowers.
It's gonna be gorgeous and colorful and flowy, and it's just gonna be so much me, like represent me. And I think I'm gonna be just super excited to see it every day. Probably go to the mirror a couple times a day just to be like, oh, look at that. Like, oh, look at that. I don't know.
I think it's something really powerful, and I think it takes a lot of courage from the individual who's willing to do this, because it is not just I'm getting this pretty tattoo because I like it, because I like color. I mean, that's part of it too, but it's really like a way to transform your life, transform your relationship with your past.
So
So I'm a nurse, but I wasn't currently working at the time as a nurse. I had sort of put off my regular mammogram. I had been getting mammograms on a regular basis yearly, just because of our family history. They wanted me to come in to do a needle biopsy, and I was kind of like, okay, all right. Like I try to be like, yeah, okay, like it's fine, like it's no big deal, it's fine, it's good. And of course my daughter was like, what are you doing today? I'm like, oh, I have to go back in. I'm gonna have some more tests. And of course, her face was like, so I went in for the needle biopsy. There was a radiologist there, and I remember saying to her like, well, I'm sure it's nothing, but what if? And she answered that question, and then I said it again, like, I'm sure it's nothing, but what if? And she answered that question. And then the third time I was like, well, I'm sure it's nothing, but, and she was like, look, she's like, I can't give you results right now because obviously this has to go to pathology, but it's not nothing. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, so I don't want you to go home and just be like, I'm sure it's nothing, because it's something. When the results from that came back, it was the beginning of August. It basically said that I had DCIS, it's like a stage 0, so it's not really a tumor. It's just like, sometimes it's calcifications, and sometimes it's just like other little fragments within the duct. So they knew that it was sort of spreading within the duct fast. And so even though it's still like ductal carcinoma and it's not a tumor, so to speak, because it was so long, she said if we were just to sort of take out the area around that, there'd be nothing left to work with for reconstruction. So really you have to have a mastectomy on that side. And I kind of decided that I wanted to just do both, to do the double mastectomy, because I was like, I never want to do this again.
My sister's such a giving, caring person, and I know that disease has no rationality, but it just kind of smacked me. Just everything flashed before me in terms of what she's going to have to go through, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. And it was just explosive, I think.
I must have asked 3 or 4 different doctors, should I remove my nipples? And nobody would say yes, nobody would say no. It's up to you, it's what you want, it looks like it'll be fine. So I decided to have the nipple sparing surgery. And I don't know if it was a week later or a little while later. Again, time gets really fuzzy for me because it was a lot of surgeries in a short period of time. My results from the lab came back, and so there were 2 unexpected things. The first was that the DCIS, the non-tumor cancer, had spread with the 6 weeks, and it had spread so that they didn't get clean margins. So we knew already that they were going to have to go back and take off my nipple, which was kind of like, I was like, but I asked, and everyone said like, oh, it's fine either way. And the other thing was that they found another cancerous tumor that was not picked up on mammogram and was not picked up with any of the other things that I had. At that same time, I also had a hysterectomy because I had been with my anemia and bleeding, and I was really like depressed.
She won't look at herself in the mirror. She feels like she's disformed and disfigured, and nobody deserves that, nobody. And so I think today is an opportunity for her to get some more control over that and to give the middle finger to cancer and to, the forces that brought her here. So, I mean, go for it, Eden, This is you. You're beautiful, and you'll even be more so.
You don't want to not be thankful for being alive, right? Like, I'm super thankful for that. And I feel guilty about not liking the way that I look, and I feel guilty about how much it bothers me. Before all of this, you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I've gained a little weight, or oh, I've lost a little weight, or oh, is that like a spot, or maybe oh, there's a pimple or whatever, and none of it is life-changing. And you know, I'm just very deformed and scarred, and that's not anything that I would have ever wanted. Not that anyone would, but like making me want to go back to the mirror, I think that's how I win, you know? I don't know.
I think for a lot of people, it's about taking ownership. It's about, this is my body, I will modify the way I want. Doesn't matter what nature did, what experiences I had, I'm in control of my fate.
You know, being Jewish, there's always that weird thing with tattoos. Is it allowed? Is it not allowed? Whatever. My dad kind of was like, well, you know, why would you do this? Like, not why would you get the tattoo? Like, we kind of get why you'd get the tattoo, but why would you do this and like allow it to be filmed or put your name out there? And I was like, well, you know, I think it'll help to heal me. And if I can do that for even one other person, if I can make them aware that this is an option and that it's not hurting anybody else, and it's healing you. And so my dad was like, okay, that's enough. I get it. I'm all good. Not that he has to give me permission. I'm 53, but but it helps. My breasts are gone. I have these scars. My uterus is gone. My ovaries are gone. I know I'm still a woman, but I don't feel like I'm still a woman. These tattoos sort of give that back to me.